that was not my beat. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Maxon Report presented by Ohio Sports Talk. Tonight, we are coming at you from Texas, South Lake Carroll High School. Tyler McCurry, welcome to the show, man. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thank you, man. I know you got a busy schedule. We know we got the football season coming up right around the corner. I'm coaching some two-a-days starting next week. I can't imagine where you guys are at in Texas. So, thank you for your time. I know it's a busy time for both of us, and especially, you being a young athlete getting ready to rock and roll here. So we'll just kind of dive in. Have you always been from the Texas area?
Yes, sir. I've lived here my entire life.
And, where'd your love for football come from? Is it you guys have a rich history there between the Dallas Cowboys and, really awesome. You got the Friday Night Lights book. You got just so much personification of, Texas high school, Texas sports, the Houstons right there. Where'd your love for the game come from?
I think just living in Texas, it's kind of like synonymous with football. It's everywhere. So it kind of was forced onto me, but obviously I fell in love with it from a pretty young age, watching the Cowboys and everything. And, Jason Witten used to be my favorite player. So that's kind of how I, started to idolize people, I feel like, in the game.
Oh man, I'm in the Ohio area, and Jason Witten is always love or hate the Cowboys. Jason Witten's style of play, everybody wanted to be throw me the ball, whether it was two-hand touch, tackle, high school, middle school. We wanted to hit that truck stick that he used to have, just get the extra 3 to 4 yards after the catch.
Yes,
but
sir.
That's awesome, man. And if you always played on the offensive line, where'd you start in Pee Wee? Give me a little bit of history for position-wise.
So I used to play DYF, so like Dragon Youth Football. I played both. So I played like D end, and then I played D tackle, and then I'd switch to offensive tackle. Every drive. So I was what they call red striped, I guess. So, like, I was too big to run the ball without someone getting hurt. So, like, they would red stripe certain players and, like, you can't run the ball. So I would just play the line the entire time. But I'd switch every drive. So, like, I'd be playing the entire game.
No, I understand that. I used to do a little bit of youth coaching, and we saw some kids. I wanted to see some birth certificates that were touching the ball in Ohio. But no, that's awesome, man. Take me a little bit through when you get that 5th, 6th grade year kind of under your belt. You go to middle school. Were you always kind of solidified, or were you still kind of going both ways when you hit middle school program for the Dragons?
See, I transferred out going into middle school, so I played for a small private organization called Atlas, and that's why I actually switched to playing tight end. My 7th grade year, I think, and then I only switched back to playing tackle my freshman year, so I've been playing for about 2 years now. Like, I guess an elite level, I would say.
And did you enjoy your time at tight end, or is that something maybe we can make you an eligible tackle? I'm just kind of picking your brain.
Yeah, no, I loved it. I mean, like I said, Jason Witten used to be my favorite player, so I kind of just made myself a glorified tight end. That's what I was kind of striving for, but it just wasn't in my cards, The Lord made me to play tackle, so that's what I am.
All right. Amen to that. And, when did you transfer back? If I can pick a little bit on that history, you go through 7th grade, you went through the private organization, Atlas. When did you come back to the Dragons side of things?
I transferred in last April, so going into spring ball, it was like the first week of spring ball, and so that's when I made the decision to kind of jump back to where I was before.
Okay. And take me through that, especially kind of spending 2 years away, not too long, but a lot of that, unity was probably there from the guys that you were with on the youth level that were stepping up.
Mm-hmm.
You get there.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, it was
Go ahead.
great.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, you're good. It was great. Yeah. Like I said, I know a ton of the guys that, I'm playing with now from going to elementary school with them and everything. So it was really nice to like reconnect and, just be able to be on the team again with everybody. I do feel like this is my home and, where I'm meant to be at. So it just kind of fit like a glove whenever I, transferred back in to, team chemistry and everything like that.
That's awesome, man. And you get to the high school level, your freshman year, you do those workouts. What's that locker room like when you get to that level? You got the juniors and seniors, sophomores a little bit in front of you age-wise, in such a dominant program that you have been in for the Dragons. Take me through that mindset. What's that first off season like when you're ready to rock and roll your freshman year?
I mean, the South Lake program is night and day difference from where I was at before. I feel like you don't really get you kind of understand there's a standard when you're in elementary school and playing the younger league, but when you get to high school, it's kind of really when it starts rocking and rolling. Like off season's no joke. We don't really take it lightly at all. If you don't want to be there, don't come mentality. Like there's a standard every single day, and we do our best to uphold that standard. So like it was kind of a reality check for me walking in. Just a different atmosphere for sure. But with the guys I've known for a long time since elementary school, they made sure to pick me up and show me the ropes, and so that I could move along as best as possible and kind of pick it up as best I can. So it was a reality check for sure, just because I think there's no other program in the state that's kind of run like us. But I was able to adjust pretty easily, and it's been good ever since for sure.
Hey, that can be an adjustment, especially coming from that private program. But you get there. Did you start automatically at tackle, or is that something that you had to kind of warm up to or compete with? What was going into week one like for you?
So it was funny. I played spring ball. I was a 2 just because our O-line the past couple of years has been like the best in the state. So I was going into fall camp as a 2, with the expectation of like we still need to see how you move in pads, because we don't do padded spring ball. It's all it's just jerseys and stuff. It's more like a not walk through pace, but it's just not padded up. So it was the expectation of like you're gonna have to go in and earn a spot. I worked my way up. I was able to get a couple reps with the ones and stuff like that. But then I think the third week of fall camp, I was ruled ineligible due to UIL thinking I was being recruited to come to South Lake. So I was forced with the option of having to sit out a year of varsity last year, and I would play on Thursdays, and then I'd suit out with varsity and practice with varsity, all that. So it was pretty unfortunate. It was probably the lowest point in my career for sure. But I've been able to bounce back this spring, and not really lost a step. I feel like by the grace of God. But yeah, it's been a wild journey for sure.
Wow, and eligibility, and that's something we didn't even talk about offline. So this is kind of a learning curve for me. That ineligibility came your sophomore year?
Yes, sir. So last fall, like going into the season.
Right. Oh, wow. Well, I will. I'll kind of dive into taking you through that freshman year when you were eligible and when you were on the field. I mean, you guys went impressive, if I'm calculating it correctly, 15-1, with one over 265 yards rushing between your starting running back Penn, and then Riley, and then your quarterback also rushed for about 40 yards a game. So
So I actually only transferred in last April, so I still played with my other team my freshman year. But
Okay.
it was still good. We played a lot of good private school teams, so I think it was like preparing me to go to South Lake the best way possible. But um, yeah, I mean I still went to like every game I could. Honestly, I feel like because I know those guys really well, and they had a really impressive season for sure.
And then take me through that private school. Your freshman year. What was that like? What did you guys rock and roll there?
Yeah, so I mean it was a small organization. It was kind of like accommodating kids who, um, didn't have the opportunity to play football at their school, or if they were doing online school. So I actually transferred out to do online school through a university because I was going to plan on graduating with my associate's degree in business and then going to work, hopefully. But after that was before I found out football could be a possibility in college and all that. But it was still varsity play. Like we were playing all the top private schools in Texas. So I mean I think it's second to none as far as like the competition level, just because there are South Lake Carrolls out there, like where I'm at now and stuff like that. So um, I
Yeah.
think it was still a good stepping stone for me for sure because it was still my first year. Because I feel like if I jumped in the fire just playing tackle immediately at South Lake, I wouldn't have been able to take the time that I did. Being at home and stuff, I was able to
Yeah.
you know just train and everything like that. But take the time that I did have to perfect my craft and everything like that, and just maximize my ability to be able to play at a high level at the position that I'm at now. So I think it was really good for my development, and so that I wasn't just kind of being thrown in the fire at South Lake. I was more prepared for it, I think, for sure.
And that's awesome, man. And there's a lot to be said about also taking education really seriously for a lot of college coaches and things like that listening. We're up to 345 listeners live right now. Thank you to everybody tuning in. So right now, saying that and actually still having a plan, I mean, you can still execute that flawlessly and go get your degree on the next level. And I think a lot of coaches also look for that because they want to not only an athlete on the field, which your accolades speak for themselves, just the physicality, what you can do,
Right.
especially when it comes to the combine and lifting and things of that nature and being, just ground tough. I mean, it speaks for itself. But also hearing the other side of, taking that education to the next level. Don't ever overshadow that for yourself.
Right. Yes, sir.
I believe in that as a coach myself, and I believe in that, as a father of a 16-year-old and an 11-year-old. So, having your education wide-eyed, bright, and talking business, especially in this world of NIL and so many other things that go into the next level in college. Don't short yourself that high. Those are some great things and some great accolades that a lot of people are going to be interested in, especially in the recruiting route. And that's just me talking personally to you. And
Yes, sir.
that's rough. Sitting that out, especially and still grinding it out, still going to those practices. So that says a lot about your character and things are moving forward. So I know this season, especially, you are locked in and eager. And man, I'm for one excited to see the product that you put on the field and how you support this team over at the Dragons moving forward.
Yes, sir. No doubt. I appreciate it.
And I'll ask a little bit about that. What's the recruitment process been like? During an unfortunate event of you having to take some time off from the game, but still there. What's your recruitment been like in this day and age?
Yeah, so I mean, it's been there definitely was a kind of curve there.
If you
Just
can hear me,
having
okay.
yeah, you're good. Um, just having no varsity film to show coaches that are like credible varsity film that 6A football high school players play. Um, it was definitely a curve for me for sure. I kind of had to like take the route of just grinding it out at camps and showing them in person that I can play and everything. and then posting constantly on Twitter, like DMing everyone I can. I've been very blessed, by God to have really good connections with, the coaching world. And I really don't understand how it happens. It just, falls in my lap, I feel like sometimes. And I know it's nobody, it's not my works. It's only God's doing. But, you know, being able to utilize those and just kind of connect with other coaches and stuff like that, it's truly been a blessing. Obviously, it wasn't, the situation I hoped to put myself in going into Southlake, but I tried my best to, recover from it and just, learn from the situation and try to, make the most out of it for sure. I was able to, pick up the pace a lot more this summer, starting in the spring with coaches coming by and everything. And so it's been really a blessing for sure.
And have you been able to attend any end game visits or sideline visits at any stadiums or Division I or lower teams?
Oh yes, sir. So I went to about 7 or 8 last year. I went to SMU a lot, TCU, Texas. I went to their spring game this year, not spring game, their spring practice. Main visits I've been on that are like newer have been this spring for sure, and then some this summer while I'm out doing the camp circuit.
Can you still hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But yeah, being part of those spring practices over at Texas, that's got to be exciting. Seeing guys like Arch Manning and just the offensive line that they recruit there, very massively, and being in those games. Tell me what the big difference is. Being and seeing those stadiums and a crowd versus playing under the lights on Fridays. It's always exciting to hear your perspective.
Yes, sir. I mean, again with Southlake, we house 11,000 fans per game, so and it's always sold out at home. So I think it might be the closest thing to a college stadium. Obviously, it's not as big, but seeing what it's actually like, what the players are participating in on Saturdays and everything like that, it's truly made me like think about the situation that I am and how blessed I am. Just because you see these stadiums and they're humongous, and you learn more about the fan base there and the town surrounding it. And so I think it's just ultimately been pretty surreal for me that I'm in the situation that I am. And I definitely want to make the most out of it for sure.
And that's awesome, man. A lot of great things there. And I'll kind of fast forward a little bit. What are you most excited for? This season besides just touching the field with your teammates. What can we expect?
Well, I'm gonna be playing with
forward on Friday nights from you guys. What do you? Is there something you have circled or?
Yeah. Yes, sir. So I mean, I'm looking forward to our non-district games for sure. It's our toughest opponents on our schedule. So like the Jinx boys from Oklahoma are coming down at the Cotton Bowl. So I'm ready for that game for sure. And then we got North Carolina and Allen. So some of the best programs in the state, and then one of the best programs in Oklahoma. We're playing our non-district games to kick it off. So I mean, being able to, like you said, touch the field for the first time in a long time, especially since I wasn't able to last year. Definitely going to be playing with an edge for sure. I'm really looking forward to it. I feel like I'm having to make back on lost time that I, wasn't able to participate in. So definitely just being aggressive and, making every play count for sure.
Hey, we're excited. We like to track our guests as wins, losses, accolades throughout the season. So we'll definitely be posting that for you guys on Saturday mornings. definitely excited. And moving forward here, I know you got 2 years left. You got your junior and senior year left, but if any college or coach or community is listening right now, what can they expect from Ty McCurry day one on a college field? Because it's going to happen. What can the community and teammates and your future locker room expect from you?
I think I embody an offensive lineman as a whole, as far as like work ethic and personality goes. So just a hard worker that tries to drink as much water from the fire hose as he can. Starting off in a college program, even coming from Southlake, as much as they prepare you, it's still a lot of pressure and stuff like that. So taking it one day at a time and make sure that I'm maximizing my time correctly. I understand that there's a lot of players that don't get on the field freshman year. If I can play as early as I can, that's great, in my opinion. But just taking what the Lord's given me every day and then trying to utilize it the best that I can.
Okay. Amen to that. That's a great answer. I'm not gonna add anything or try to top anything on that. Very exciting. And we always kind of ask a fun question. What do you like to do in the off season? And what is your favorite? What's your favorite movie or film that you like to unplug to?
Big thing right now with the O line is going golfing. So I go golfing as much as I can. My dad's a big golfer. My grandpa's a big golfer. So I've been doing it for a long time. When I can, I like to hunt and fish. Like I was just in Colorado this weekend, fly fishing for brown trout and everything like that. So it's a big hobby of mine for sure. Hunting season kind of overlaps with football, so it's kind of hard to get out there whenever deer or doves going on. But I know I go out there for like Labor Day and stuff like that. So it's definitely a big hobby of mine for sure, and a passion that I have. As far as movies go, I don't know. I mean, my grandpa put me on a lot of Westerns when I was young. So like Tombstone's always been a huge movie for me. Love Tombstone. Good, Bad, the Ugly. That's my grandpa's, movie for sure. I don't know. My dad's a big movie guy too. So he'll put me on to some, good stuff, some undercover stuff that I don't know about. I feel like, so yeah, I would definitely say that I'm more of a movie guy than a TV show guy anyways. So.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I personally love Tombstone. Rest in peace, Val Kilmer. One of the best performances is Doc Holliday. And the good, the bad, the ugly. I'm a big Clint Eastwood person, so wonderful, wonderful answers on my end. I have nothing else to really kind of throw at you. I do want to circle back. We'll definitely clean this audio up a little bit and re-release tomorrow on YouTube. But is there anything else that I may have missed or skimmed over? I know you had a lot of circumstances and things of that nature. Do you want to share anything or put anything out there before we close this evening?
No, sir. You basically covered everything. I really appreciate it.
No, we appreciate you having on, man. We're excited for you. Again, some of that information, I take responsibility for not knowing that you had a year out. So, I apologize for that. We're excited. Ty McCurry, everybody, Southlake Carroll High School, Texas. One of the most sought after offensive linemen in the nation. A lot of, rated between 3 to 4 stars, depending on where you look. The young man's got a lot of opportunities coming his way. We're going to see him on Saturdays and can't wait to see him post on, Friday nights, man. It's going to be fun, and we'll definitely reconnect again. I would love to have you on at the end of the season when you got that full one under your belt.
Yes, sir. No doubt. I'm looking forward to it.
This has been the Maxon Report. This has been Ty McCurry. Good evening, everybody, and God bless.